All right, so every once in a while, 4chan comes together to put together some kind of like movement of sorts, sort of a troll movement, to attempt to start some discourse around a particular thing that benefits their narrative and their arguments. This was entirely, the super straight thing was entirely made up by 4chan, and what they were trying to do, what 4chan was attempting to do with this whole super straight thing. Here, I'll bring this up on screen so you can see it. What 4chan was trying to do with this super straight thing was a combination of things. One, 4chan hates trans people. Even the trans people on 4chan hate trans people. I don't know if you've ever, like, I only know about this because of ContraPoint's live streams, but if you've ever been to any trans or LGBT-focused, like, message board on 4chan, the trans people there talk like Nazis. It's wild. I mean, they probably are because it's 4chan, right? They might be some of the most hateful pieces of shit I've ever seen. It's fucking crazy. But basically, 4chan, broadly speaking, hates trans people, and they benefit greatly by making discussions around trans people be as negative towards them as possible in the mainstream. So they put together SuperStraight. Now, a lot of people, when it comes to discussions about trans people, even if they believe that trans people are valid, like trans women are women, trans men are men, they struggle a lot with whether or not, as a straight person, or even if they're gay, when it comes to like trans women, if it is against their sexuality, or if it is transphobic, if they aren't attracted to, we'll use straight men and trans women as an example, if it is transphobic or gay for them to be attracted to or not attracted to a trans woman. It's big fucking discourse in like normie communities and even in like more woke political communities as well. Now, my position on this is quite simple, all right? If you see a trans woman walking down the street and you think she's attractive and you see her as a woman, but you find out she has a penis and so you just aren't interested in having a sexual interaction or sexual relationship with that person because you have a genital preference when it comes to sex and you just don't like penises, it is not transphobic. I have unironically argued with woke scolds and trans people that believe it's transphobic to have genital preferences. One of them was Izzy Bear. I argued quite extensively with Izzy Bear last year on the Surfs podcast, and I blew her the fuck out. She argued that genital preferences are transphobic. It is not. However, on the other hand, let's come up with a different hypothetical, right? What if there is a trans woman that you find attractive, except she's had bottom surgery, she has a vagina? If you still kind of feel a little icky and wouldn't do anything with them if you would otherwise do it if they were a cis woman, then yes, that is transphobic. There's really no reason to not want to do something with a trans woman who has had bottom surgery and you're a straight guy, unless you feel like there is some essence deep down that still makes them a man, right? You know what I mean, chat? Like, there's really, like, there's something deep down in there, some kind of transphobia buried deep inside of you that's, like, keeping you from feeling as though you can be straight and do something with them, right? So, super straight is meant to sort of get to those people. And the idea behind super straight is that it is people who are only attracted to cis men and women. And it's called super straight. So the implication here is that it is not straight, or it is not super straight, to be attracted as a straight man to a trans woman, or as a straight woman to a trans man, right? That's the argument that they're making. That the implicit definition to the super straight thing, right? Cis men or women, right? So that's the problem, right? The implication is that trans women aren't real women and trans men aren't real men. And that's basically all there is to say about it. That's all it is. It's literally just the implication of this term is that trans men aren't men and trans women aren't real women. Because if they were, then it wouldn't be even somewhat gay to be interested in them, even if they had a dick or a vagina, right? So, I woke up to Lonnie putting on Vosh's stream, and apparently he briefly covered Blaire White's video. Oh my God, look at how much I'm sweating. Jesus. Apparently, he briefly put on Blaire White's new video. I don't know if he covered it or not because I got up. I didn't want to see what he said about it because I like to go into these things fresh, all right? Nice and fresh. Apparently, Blaire White made a video about the super straight phenomenon, and we're going to go ahead and cover that shit. Hit me up, Blaire White. God, I miss covering trans stuff. It's always so fun. We're going to turn it up to 125 because I don't want to linger on it for too long.
I'm super straight. I only date the opposite gender, women that are born women. So you can't say I'm transphobic now because that's just my sexuality, you know?
So if you're heterosexual and you're a man and you said you wouldn't date...
The funny thing is, the dude in this TikTok is actually arguing against the super straight thing, I believe. From my understanding, this TikTok, I'm pretty sure this person is actually arguing against the super straight thing and arguing that it's transphobic. To be completely clear. I think she like cut this kind of dishonestly, which is kind of shitty of her.
Sexuality, you know?
So if you're heterosexual and you're a man and you said you wouldn't date a trans woman because it's a preference, that's just transphobia, period.
The reason that we're so pissed off about this trend is because it's definitely to make fun of us.
True.
Hey guys, welcome back to my main channel. So the girls are mad. The girls are fighting. The girls are battling. There is a new sexuality.
All right. I'm going to say this right now. Her room actually looks pretty cool. Her entire getup and the setup behind her is actually pretty fucking neat. I can't lie, all right? I have to be honest with all of you, all right? I'm putting in a compliment here because I don't want to be too mean to Blaire, all right? This background, I like it. Like the headboard and how it goes out, like very nice. This is Lonnie's dream room with like the pink and the white. This is absolutely Lonnie's dream room. The cool little like fire thing in the back, it's very, very neat. And I also like the outfit. I do like where it's like tied at the top, you know? That's actually pretty neat. I do like the outfit as well. Thumbs up for that. Now let's argue vehemently against everything you stand for, Blaire.
Because of course there always is. Going viral online, getting a lot of popularity and traction, and new people identifying as it, and it is called super straight. So super straight is pretty much exactly as it sounds. It is super straight people. It is people who do not have any attraction to or date trans people. So clearly this is going to be a war. This all started on TikTok, which follow me on TikTok, by the way. I am on TikTok, unfortunately. So it's only right that we show the video that started it. Here we go.
Yo guys, I made a new sexuality now, actually. It's called...
Okay, this video didn't start it, by the way. This came from 4chan. I looked, I browsed through Twitter. I've talked to the experts. I traveled to the Himalayas, and I climbed mountains this morning, and I met with some ancient monks that have been alive for 1,000 years, and they bestowed upon me the ancient literature to show me the history of super straight, and it came from 4chan. It's a 4chan troll op. It's always a 4chan fucking troll op. He's not arguing against it. That's weird. I saw like whenever I looked up super straight, the first thing that came up was like an article with this dude's face on it saying TikToker argues against super straight or something like that, but I don't know. Yeah, the monks never lie.
Called super straight, okay? Since straight people or straight men as myself, I get called transphobic because I wouldn't date a trans woman. You know, they're like, would you date a trans woman? I'm like, no, why? That's a female. No, like, that's not a real woman to me. Like, I want a real woman. No, you're just transphobic. So now, I'm super straight. I only date the opposite gender, women that are born women. So you can't say I'm transphobic now because...
Okay, so he's literally just said trans women aren't real women. Cool, okay. He's just admitted that he is transphobic. It is transphobic to say trans women aren't real women or trans men aren't real men. That is what transphobia is. That is one of the... that is like the base ideology behind transphobia, the idea that trans people aren't valid as the gender they identify as. That is the entire foundation of transphobia.
That's just my sexuality, you know?
So this video has amassed millions and millions of views and a ton of responses and has started an entire movement. Apparently they also have their own flag, which I do have to say, you know, I respect the super straights. Like, I'm not super phobic, but I will say those are the colors of Grindr, the gay dating app. So...
Oh God, it is. Although the Grindr thing has white in the background. You know something I did once to troll my uncle? Maybe this is a little homophobic, but my uncle has some homophobic tendencies. He's kind of like your dad with the homophobia. So me and my other uncle, as sort of a meme, they're brothers by the way, not gay. I should probably clarify that. My uncle and I, for my other uncle, put together a Grindr profile, and we like put in his Grindr bio power bottom. And he got like a bunch of fucking we did it on his phone, and I hid the app, but he kept on, because he's kind of a boomer, he doesn't know how to handle technology. He kept on getting these fucking notifications from Grindr of dudes like contacting him or like matching with him, because like right when I downloaded, I did like the swipe right on everything I saw until it like limited his matches for the day or whatever, kind of like Tinder. And he just kept on getting these matches on Grindr. And he was so mad, and he made me uninstall it on there. It was such a good troll. Listen, don't be homophobic around me, okay? He doesn't like hate gay people or anything, but he says like some pretty homophobic stuff from time to time because he thinks it's funny. No, it is pretty funny that the super straight colors are the same as the Grindr colors, leaving out the white, of course. It is pretty funny.
You know, I do suggest a rebrand on the flag. So while this clearly started out as a meme and as a joke, it has revealed a lot about the woke side of the LGBT community. A lot of people are really showing their hands and reacting to it as if it wasn't a joke, and now it's kind of become...
Hold on. She just showed a video of a dude saying trans women aren't women, and she's not arguing against it. So I'm very curious if she agrees with that. Does she think that trans women aren't women? Does she believe that she's not a real woman? Interesting. Let's find out.
Something that isn't even a joke, and now it's serious. It's just, that's the beauty of memes, really. Like, it can start as a meme and then suddenly it's real life. When memes become real life, it has made a lot of people in the...
Really, Blaire? You agree that sometimes something that was started as a meme can become real because those that don't recognize it as a joke and actually believe those things take it seriously? Huh. I wonder how Blaire feels about the OK sign. Because the OK sign meme literally has the exact same roots as the super straight meme. The OK sign originally was just supposed to be a 4chan troll to make the media cover the OK sign, thinking it was like a white power symbol, but then actual Nazis and actual white nationalists started doing the white power sign, and then people like Blaire White started arguing still that it was a troll, even though it was being done unironically. So a troll stops being a troll when it's done unironically. That's how it works.
The trans community and the LGBT community very mad.
The reason that we're so pissed off about this trend is because it's definitely to make fun of us. It's not to be a legitimate thing. The reason that they're saying super straight and making it like a flag and all that stuff is to make us upset. Now onto the legitimacy of that attraction thing. What is the thing that identifies a trans woman over a regular woman? Name something.
And apparently the originator of SuperStraight has been getting a ton of death threats from activists, and his mother's business is being threatened with fake reviews, just bombarded. And I'm just really confused because why would the community of love and acceptance and that believes in not shaming people for their sexuality be sending death threats?
LGBT community blown the fuck out because they got upset that some shithead kid tried to popularize, by the way, not start, it came from 4chan, tried to popularize a literally overtly transphobic thing. What are you fucking talking about? Yes, you claim to be in favor of love and acceptance for sexualities, but you don't like this fake sexuality that was made up to try to argue that trans people aren't valid. Ha, so much for the tolerant left. Left wing destroyed.
That's weird. To all the people who are super straight, remember, you are transphobic. You are desperate for attention.
True.
You aren't part of the LGBTQ plus community.
True.
You are making a mockery of the LGBTQ plus community. You aren't oppressed. Just out with it and say you're transphobic.
True.
So I think what makes this troll so effective is that it has really lured people into...
Wait, what? Is it a troll or is it real? That's what I'm really curious about here. I actually can't tell. She keeps saying it over and over again, like, okay, I'm not super phobic, or oh, it turns out the people who are supposed to be accepting of other sexualities are being bigoted. Is it a troll? It's like it changes from being a troll to a real sexuality on the fly whenever Blaire needs it to for an argument.
Reacting to it as if it's real, and now it kind of is. And the fact that people are upset over this new sexuality being created is a little hypocritical coming from the folks who created abrosexual, demisexual, gerontosexual, gynosexual, intrasexual, callosexual, multisexual, pomosexual, sapiosexual, and literally hundreds more.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you can list a bunch of sexualities. The thing is, hey guys, you know what the difference is between all of those sexualities that she listed and I guess the one she didn't, and the super straight? Super straight was invented to try and argue trans people or trans women aren't real women and trans men aren't real men, while those identities are just modes of sexual identification. They're people's sexual preferences, not meant to attack anyone's gender identity or trans people. That's the difference.
Exaggerating. There are hundreds. And like, even though super straight is a joke, the irony is that is a lot more valid than a lot of those I just listed. Actually, all of them.
Is it?
Y'all are releasing new sexualities more than...
So she just doesn't believe trans women are women. She doesn't think she's a woman. Blaire actually doesn't think she's a woman. Blaire, I'm really curious, is there any point in your mind for like a trans woman or a trans man transitioning where you would believe that they are an actual man or woman? Is there like, where does that point? Also, the argument would be, does she think she's a man? And if she doesn't, does she agree that there's now multiple genders? Because like her argument, her entire worldview is falling apart. I guess this is what happens when you don't believe anything aligning with science. Like, because here's our problem, right? So in her mind, right, she believes that there are two genders. There's men. Here, we're doing a politics fucking paint stream here. So in her mind, there is men and there is women. Remember, because she thinks there's only two genders, right? So in her mind, there can only be men and women. There is no other gender, whatever. So the question here is, if she doesn't believe that she's a woman, if she's agreeing with the argument of the super straight thing, does she think that like trans women are some like mystical third gender that like, I don't know, here, we'll do it like this. Does she think there's like now, unironically, a third gender that's like, trans women aren't exactly women, but they aren't exactly men. They're sort of like a mix. So either she's admitting that there's, although she'd be wrong in admitting it in this way, either she's admitting that there is more than two genders, or she's admitting that she's not a woman. I can't tell. That would make her non-binary? Yeah, technically it would make her non-binary. I can't tell. Guys, is she... They have a third set of genitals. We call it the squiggly spooch. I have a squiggly spooch. Anyone who gets that reference is fucking based. Based in fucking early 2000s, kid.
Then I even release videos. Like, it's your full-time job. But you freak out when someone else does it, make it make sense. It's obviously completely valid to exclude trans people from your dating pool if you're not attracted to them, and anyone who says otherwise is honestly kind of rapey. The fact that people equate it to...
No, it's not rapey to say that it's transphobic to have genital preferences. It is wrong, but it's not rapey. That's not what rapey is. Just like it wouldn't be rapey to say you're a bad person. It wouldn't be rapey to say you're homophobic if you're a straight dude who wouldn't fuck another man. It's weird, I guess, and it's wrong, but it's not rapey. Let's not go that far. Genital preferences on their own are not transphobic, but literally just not wanting to date a trans person because they're trans and you don't view them as being what they identify as, that's what makes it transphobic.
Hatred automatically kind of makes me hate them. Like, I am not attracted to little people. Contrary to popular belief, I post all the time with my best friend JC. People think he's my boyfriend, he's not. Like, it doesn't make me ableist or anti-little people if I don't want to date a little person or if I simply am not attracted to them because I like tall men. God, I love tall men. And even if super straight...
Yeah, exactly, right? So if you're just into... For example, okay? You can be not... For example, all right? There is a difference between, let's say you're really attracted to, like, pasty redheads, okay? That is like, these are the features that you are most attracted to. In fact, you are so attracted to pasty redheads that these are the only people that you'll date or have sex with, okay? You just love very, very pale redhead women, okay? It would go to follow that you're probably not attracted to black women, right? Just because they typically, I mean, there might be outliers, but typically speaking, don't have the features that you are most attracted to. It's not like they aren't your type, right? These aren't the features you're into. So it would logically follow that's what you're into. That wouldn't make you racist. However, what would make you racist is if you say, I'm not into black people. I just don't want to date black people because they're black. That would make you racist. There's a difference there.
As a joke, it's still born out of something very real, which is the frustration that people are feeling from having their sexual orientation invalidated to validate the feelings of other people. Like, insisting that you have to be attracted to trans people if you're straight. How can you guys be mad if people who are not attracted to trans people make a new sexuality and like, okay, y'all can have straight, I'm super straight then. Like, there have been worse ideas. I'm just gonna say this, and people can be so mad, I don't care. In my opinion, straight men who are attracted to trans women, they're somewhere on the Kinsey scale, okay? Like, they are not.
What? So now is she admitting that sexuality is a spectrum? Wait, why does she now believe sexuality is a spectrum, which it is, but doesn't believe gender is on a spectrum or sex is on a spectrum? Why does sexuality get to be? I don't get it. I'm so fucking confused. Okay. Whew. So she is arguing that any straight man that's attracted to her is a little gay? Is that unironically what she's arguing right now? Why are you doing this to yourself, Blaire? I'm going to say this definitively, and I want everyone in the world to hear it. If you're a straight man and you think Blaire is hot, that does not make you even slightly gay. Not a modicum, not a drop, not a molecule, okay? If we look at this scale here, and 1 is like, okay, you're a little gay, if you think Blaire is attractive, and you're a straight man, you're here, okay? You are perfectly here in the 0 category. Not a single pixel of gay, all right? You are completely straight. Xandral, wait, I think she made a video on her views on the exact point. Look up her vid, Is My Boyfriend Gay? Oh, no. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that, okay? God, I like the amount of sweat. Jesus Christ. I'm going to get Botox injections in my fucking armpits. I need to stop sweating. It's actually fucking crazy. I have an actual sweat problem.
I don't care. It is what it is. That includes any man I've ever been with who liked me because I'm trans. They're somewhere on the Kinsey scale. It doesn't make them gay. It doesn't make them bisexual, but they are not clearly 110% straight. And to deny
they can be. Blaire, have you seen yourself in the mirror, okay? You are more feminine than most cis women I've seen, okay? You are like ultra feminine, all right? There is nothing about this frame that we're looking at right now that would make being attracted to you even slightly gay. I'm sorry, Blaire. I'm sorry I have to argue this with a trans woman, but you're a woman, okay? We can debate about it. We can debate as to whether or not you're a woman. I can debate in favor of you being valid as your gender identity, and you can argue against it. That can be our debate. I would love to debate that. It would be very fun for me if you want to, Blaire, but I'm blown away.
Why would you deny that? Maybe straight is the best possible word for you, but you're clearly still 1 or 2 points to the left of perfectly straight on the Kinsey scale, and that's okay. Why is every sexual preference okay, except for not finding trans people hot? And
no, it's not finding trans people hot. It's creating a whole identity about it to hammer home how much you think that trans people aren't valid. That's what makes it transphobic, Blaire.
A certified card-carrying trans testicle, I do have to say, I would never want to be with a man who felt like he had to go on a date with me or had to entertain the idea of being with me simply for woke points or to avoid.
No one's asking that.
That's just pathetic.
Actually, there are people that ask that, and I've argued against them, okay? I have unironically debated trans people that do genuinely believe that to not be transphobic, you have to be willing to like have sex with a trans woman with a penis. I have argued with woke scolds who genuinely believe that, but they are very few and far between. None of them have a platform. They're extremely stupid. No one takes them seriously. Like, this is like making a big deal about like, I don't know, like someone who believes the earth is fucking, like someone who believes the earth is concave. Not even flat earthers. People who believe that like the earth is a sphere, but we're inside the sphere, and when we look up at the stars, we're actually seeing the shimmering of the ocean on the opposite side of the planet. There are people who, the Nazis believed that. You know that, right? There were unironically Nazi scientists who believed that the earth was actually a sphere, but we were inside of the sphere, and that if they went to a certain part of the earth and used like a telescope, they could spy on America because they'd be able to see it in the sky. You guys know about that, right? That's like taking these people seriously. Like, obviously they exist, but it's to such a small degree that it's not worth making a big deal about it, right?
You really need to have, and as trans
yeah, and they believe the Earth's core is the sun. Yeah, wait, you guys don't know that's a thing? I hate going on these tangents, but it's real. Hold on. Hollow Earth Nazi scientist. It's real. Let me see if I can find like a diagram. Yeah, here's like a really old diagram of it, right? So we'll zoom into it really hard. Yeah, so here it is basically. People who believe in this shit should be taken about as seriously as those that believe it's like you're genuinely transphobic if you have general preferences, right? They're not worth taking seriously. It's not worth starting a whole fucking argument about, right? The people that believe this, there was a Nazi scientist who actually believed this, is that the Earth is concave, we're on the inside, space, the sun, and the moon are inside of the Earth as like its own little sphere. And if you went to like North America and you got a telescope and looked straight up into the sky with a strong enough telescope, you would be able to see like Africa or Europe on the other end. Yeah, and the clouds are made of sugar. And fucking sky whale cum. All right.
We should have enough confidence to say, it's okay if I am not your preference, I'm my own preference. I like me, you don't have to like me. Why is everyone so concerned with who's labeled what and who fucks who and blah, blah, blah? Like, mind your business. Maybe the reason why no one wants
the reason why people are concerned with who likes what and who fucks who is because there are other people that are concerned with it and want to denigrate and take the rights away from those who have different sexual... Like, this is like asking during, like, the fucking Stonewall riots, like... As like a fucking straight person, like, why do you guys care so much about your sexuality? Like, oh my, why do you care so much? It's like, because we have no rights. I want to marry my boyfriend, but because we're both dudes, we aren't legally allowed to. That's why we care. If we had the exact same rights and weren't discriminated against based on our sexuality, it wouldn't be a big deal. We wouldn't talk about it as much, but we're fighting for our rights. That's why we care. That's why we're talking about it.
You isn't because of your gender, but because you're an unlikable.
Everyone who's needing that, by the way, is homophobic. Just want to point that out. Thanks, homophobes. Nice.
Consider, for all the straight and non-trans people watching, I'm going to offer you maybe some perspective. Like, I understand, being trans myself, why other trans people do this, like, whole, like, you have to date trans people, you're transphobic, you're a bigot. I understand why they do it. It's born out of severe insecurity. It's born out of the need to seek validation from others. Some trans people, insecure trans people, really, really, really need to believe that they are 100% man or woman, depending on where they're transitioning.
And they are. No matter where they are down the line in terms of transition, doesn't matter. No, I would say how can I say this in a way that doesn't give Blaire White or her fans, like, ammo to use, okay? There are unironically trans people out there that believe these things. Hold on, I'll show you one, okay? Just to promise to any potential Blaire White fans that could possibly be watching this right now, to any potential Blaire White fans, to prove I don't believe the shit that Blaire White is saying, all right? Here's my debate from 9 months ago. It's 2.5 hours long. My debate with Izzy Bear, in which I argue vehemently in favor of people who just have general preferences not being transphobic. And my audience, which is overwhelmingly trans, overwhelmingly progressively trans and in favor of trans people, it has I also like my own videos sometimes, don't get mad, okay? Has like an overwhelming like to dislike ratio. The likes are pretty good. Most of the comments, for example, from Riley, who is trans, says, I really like the idea of contributing to the leftist pipelines. Oh, yeah, this is her. She agrees with me on this. There are plenty of trans people in the comments that agree with me on this. In no way is the idea that general preferences are transphobic a prevalent idea among the trans community. It's just not. It's just not.
To you. And they may get that validation from people that they're dating or people they're pursuing or are pursuing them. But that's toxic, trans or not trans. You should not get validation from men. I don't need to validate myself by exclaiming how bad straight men want me. I don't need to validate myself by saying gay men don't want me. I know who wants me. I know who doesn't want me. Your husband wants me. Just kidding. You have to just be okay with you. And if you're not okay with you, then you probably are going to be the type that thinks that people who don't want to date you have some kind of hatred or have it out for you. Interestingly, there's also a super gay and super lesbian hashtag that's growing because this isn't even just about straight people. Like, this also applies to gays and lesbians, like lesbians who are not attracted to trans women, gay men.
Yep, just like Ariel Scarcella, lesbians who feel so threatened by the existence of trans women because I guess they believe that, like, the trans Gestapo is gonna come and, like, beat them in the head with a fucking nightstick, like, fucking cave their ribcage in with a nightstick and force them to have sex with trans women because they want to be victims of transgender people, I guess. Yeah, no, this isn't anything new, Blaire. They just found a new word for it because TERF is optics poison.
And who are not attracted to trans men. These people are being told they have to be as well. And it's honestly one of the most toxic elements of the whole gender ideology debate. Anytime you're trying to control or police who dates who has sexual relations with who, like, you're creepy and you're a problem. I remember growing up when it was a lot more common to have...
Nobody with any platform is doing that.
Have, like, you know, evangelical and super religious people trying to police how gay people shouldn't be with, you know, members of the same sex. And, you know, I hated that and I fought against that. That's a little less common now than y'all, little wokies, who are trying to police now sexuality and who is with who. Stop. It's creepy. It's rapey. And it's so overdone. It's so overblown. And this whole debate has been going on for years. And it's like, what is going to stop it? What is going to be the nail in the coffin that we don't have to talk about this anymore? And speaking on the super gay and super lesbian, I've met 2 gay men in my life who are attracted to trans men. I had a gay best friend for a while that I'm now kind of distant from, but...
So are they not
we were best
gay?
friends for a long time. And he is the gayest person I know. Like, crazy about men.
Does that make them a little straight?
Okay, super gay.
I wonder if she would argue with that gay friend of hers that actually you aren't gay or completely gay because you're attracted to men with vaginas. That fucking got him, dude. The gays have been destroyed. Nice, Blaire. You fucking got him.
Super gay. And one night when we were drinking, he confessed to me that sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes he finds attraction in trans men and would like to be with a trans man and watches certain videos online about trans men.
Yep,
and
doesn't make him not gay.
It kind of made sense because
I almost gagged? What? Wait, what? Did she say she almost gagged?
Videos online about trans men. And I was gagged, but it kind of made sense.
And I was gagged? What does that mean? Is that like some boomer speak? Like, I was gagged? What does that mean? Is that like I was surprised, or is there, do we have any, like, she couldn't respond? I don't think she said I almost gagged as in she was disgusted. It means like shocked. Gagged is gay slang. Okay, so it means like you're shocked. You didn't know what to say. Okay. Thank you.
Sense because there are a lot of men who are only with biological women who also would try out a trans woman. Kinsey scale, like, go figure. A lot of people are somewhere on the Kinsey scale. They're not perfectly one thing or the other. But if you are
okay. So the Kinsey scale, or just the general idea that sexuality is on a spectrum, has to do with the idea that straight women, for example, here's a really good example. You ever notice how it's completely socially acceptable and most people wouldn't consider it gay? Like, most straight women that I know have made out with another woman in their lives. Like, and it's not even made a big deal out of, right? Oh, you get drunk and you just do it on a dare, or you do spin the bottle, and, like, you know, 2 women make out, right? That's a thing that happens. And it's like nobody really bats an eye at it because, oh, when women kiss, it's hot. But when 2 guys kiss, even if it was under the same circumstances, they weren't attracted to each other, there's plenty of women who make out, like, because of a dare, because they got drunk and, like, whatever, and it's just, like, a meme, right? That, it, like, no one makes a big deal out of it. But if 2 guys did it in the same context, no one would let it go. They would claim that it's gay, and it would be, like, a huge deal. But straight women, if straight women do it, then nobody, like, bats an eye. No one questions their sexuality of being straight because everybody thinks women are hot, right? You know? And they have to be performatively disgusted, too, because of how gay it is. Yeah, because gay men kissing is like, a lot of straight people feel like to be... Listen, I live in Palm Springs, all right? When I go outside, I see, like, literally, whenever I jog to the gym or whatever, like, I live in Palm Springs. There are gay couples walking down the street, right? Holding hands, and sometimes they kiss. It's not, like, a big deal. No one bats an eye at it because we're, like, in a very progressive, like, gay center of California here. It's just not a big deal. But in, like, places where straight dudes feel like they need to fucking hammer in how straight they are, they feel like they need to be very, they feel like they need to be very performative with how disgusted they are by it because they're that straight, you know?
One thing or the other. Why can't you say that? Most trans people I've known in my life and that I've met, like, they don't actually believe this. They don't actually think you're not transphobic if you're not into trans people. A huge chunk of people who are saying this crap, that you're a bigot if you don't date trans people, they're not even trans. They're speaking on our behalf, like this lovely woman.
Let me break this down. Trans women are women. So if you're heterosexual and you're a man and you said you wouldn't date a trans woman because it's a preference, that's just transphobia, period.
Girl, bye. You are not even trans.
I don't know what the rest of what she said was there. If she might have added on there, like, if you think trans women are attractive, but you don't want to do anything sexual with a trans woman because you have a genital preference, then it's fine and it's not transphobic, then I don't see any problem with that. I really would like to talk to Blaire White someday. I doubt she would because I've like shit talked her a lot, but I would love to see how much her arguments here stand up to like a one-on-one debate, like scrutiny in a one-on-one debate. I'd be really curious.
Enough of us making us look bad. We don't need you coming in. Sorry. Bye. Nice try, but bye. So here are a couple of reasons why someone would maybe not want to date a trans person. These are valid reasons, and they're not hate-based. So the first is having kids. It is a difficulty having kids as a trans person.
Whoa, Blaire. Okay, so there's a few things that play into why someone may not want to date a trans woman, okay? Now, for example, all right, let's say when you're dating, you're very interested in starting a family, and you don't want to adopt or anything like that or do a surrogate thing. You specifically want to like date a woman, maybe get married, get her pregnant, and have her give birth to a baby born of your fucking nut and her fucking egg, right? That would be an instance where it's like, well, even if I find trans women attractive, and I'd totally be down to date a trans woman, even if she had a penis, that you can adopt a kid though. That's why in this scenario, it's somebody who doesn't want to adopt. That wouldn't necessarily be transphobic. However, if that's not important to you and you would be fine with adopting a kid or having a surrogate, then that argument doesn't really hold up to scrutiny because you could just do those things if you date a trans woman. There'd have to be some underlying other reason why you are unwilling to date a trans person. And no one's forcing you to date a trans person. And it may not exactly mean you're like, you hate trans people or you're super transphobic if you don't want to date a trans person in this scenario. It just means you might have some underlying like thing there that makes it feel like you don't really see a trans woman as a woman or a trans man as a real man, right?
For me, I cannot just go off birth control for a month and bada bing, bada boom, I have a bun in the oven. That's not my story. That's not my journey. My journey includes...
Not yet. All right. Hey, listen, science, you know, our technology, we're advancing in technology exponentially. One day we're going to be able to implant like fucking lab-grown uteruses into trans women. They're going to be able to have babies. It's going to be pog as fuck. One day, it's going to happen.
A lot of expensive medical costs, a lot of
hey, Ethan.
Legal processes, and just a lot more for me to have a biological child. So if someone doesn't want to be on that kind of a journey, and if having kids is very important to them, having a lot of kids and having them soon in life, if they don't want to be on that journey with me, I don't even blame them. It doesn't mean they hate me. It means they want to have kids and have kids soon. They want 6 kids, and that's their life, and that's their story to be told. That's fine. That's valid. Another valid reason, genital preferences. You know that thing that like most people have? That pretty much everyone outside of your woke group chat has?
No one's talking about genital preferences. I've already gone over this a million times. You guys know my argument on it. Also, am I the only one that notices, like, in every Blaire White video? I don't know if she, like, uses some sort of, like, perfume. This is a weird thing to point out. But, like, I'm looking at, like, this part of her chest right here. Not her boobs. Don't be weird, chat. But, like, this part of her chest right here. It's like there's, like, this... I don't know if it's, like, her skin or something. Or if she, like, sprays, like, glitter on herself or something. But there's, like, a weird sort of, like... The way the light is bouncing off of her skin here... I don't know what it is, but it's almost like glittery. It's called highlighter. Wait, Lonnie, is that what it is? It's highlighter? The light is bouncing off her eyes. It's highlight? It's supposed to do that. What is highlighter? I'm really curious because I've always noticed that in Blaire White videos, and it's like, what's up with her skin there? Hold on. Highlighter makeup. Maybe I can find a better image, because you guys probably can't see the image as clear as I can. Okay. That's what it is. It is highlighter. So for those of you guys, this is like a way more extreme version of it, but like this here is like a better representation of what I'm seeing. Basically, there's like this, it's almost like, it looks like she's a vampire in Twilight. Right? Just the way the light's bouncing off. It's something that for some reason I can't not notice because my fucking ADHD makes my eyes fucking pull to anything even somewhat shiny. You know, like if something's shiny, then I look at it. I don't know, like it's sort of this. I was really curious. It's like a fucking Twilight vampire when they go out into the light.
That's valid. And yes, trans women and trans men can have sex changes down below. That doesn't automatically make you meet the genital preference of a person just because you got it surgically done.
Why not? Wait, why not? What is the difference? If you see a fucking... Hold on. If you see a trans woman who has a vagina, big old boobies, a nice butt, all those things, everything that a straight man would typically be attracted to, and you would be attracted to them if they were a cis woman, but because they have a fake vagina, you're not okay with it. What's the difference? Dude, most straight dudes jack off. What's the difference? If you're willing to fucking nut, like, from jacking off with your hand, there must be something that makes you feel as though a trans woman who's had bottom surgery, who in every way is, like, physically a woman, there must be something there that makes you not attracted to them, that makes you feel as though they aren't a real woman. There's something there. Fellas, is it gay to jack off? I mean, it is a man's hand. Presumably.
And though I'm trans, I'm not attracted to trans men because of that. Because while I see plenty of trans men who are handsome and jacked and, like, seem like great people, I can't get past not having a naturally formed thing down there. Like, that's what I prefer. Not a surgically created
naturally formed. Wait, hold on. I'm really curious then. A lot of women in the porn industry get their get surgeries on their labia to, like, have, like, a prettier looking vagina or whatever. Do you guys know that? Hypers, if you know that. There are tons of women that get, like, different types of cosmetic surgeries in their vaginas, cis women, by the way, to try to make their vagina look more, like, more appealing, I guess. Does that make it, like, a fake vagina? Because I guarantee you 99.9999999% of men would take no issue with having sex with a woman who's had a surgery to, like, remove part of their labia, right? As a matter of fact, tons of fucking men shame women who have, like, very prominent labia, because they call it, like, I think the term is, like, yeah, vaginoplasty or whatever it's called. I don't know. Like, they call it, like, a roast beef pussy. I can't say that. I can't say labiaplasty. Thank you. Yeah, not vaginoplasty. I can't say roast beef pussy without laughing. Yeah, roasty. That's, like, they call women with that. Yeah. Like the incels do. Yeah, so, like, this line of logic, like, the idea of it being a natural pussy doesn't even fucking follow.
It's got to be there from birth, honey. That's just my preference. And that's valid. It's valid for me being trans and valid for a person that's not trans. Baby, sometimes in life, you just gotta take the L. Not everyone's for you. You're not for everyone. There are other fish in the sea. Work on you. Work on you. Do some introspective work. Find out why you have such a grudge on your shoulder that not everyone wants to be with you.
Oh, yeah, and what about lesbians that use strap-ons during sex? What about that? That's a fake dick. A strap-on is a fake dick. Why do lesbians use that in sex? Like, because guess what? Most people don't actually care when it's not trans people, don't actually care whether or not, like, the genitals they're doing stuff with are natural, right? Whether there's been cosmetic surgery done or it's like a fucking silicone toy that's meant to resemble that thing. When it's not trans people, they don't care. And the reason is because there's some ingrained transphobic bias deep down, whether they realize it or not, that makes them feel as though there's something wrong with doing something with a trans woman. Also, I don't know if Blaire uses spray tan or something, but I'm, like, noticing that, like, the palm of her right hand is, like, noticeably darker, like spray tan Donald Trump style, than her left hand. It's bothering me. My ADHD is, like, attracting my eyes to it now as well, and I can't not point it out because you guys are probably noticing I've just been staring at her left hand this entire time.
Work on this attitude of entitlement, which is very unattractive. And maybe once you do that and become a little bit better of a person, someone will definitely come along and want to be with you because you're a good person.
So many comments about our bodies. And listen, I do this about everybody I cover. I want to make it very clear. But also, I have ADHD, which makes me fucking distracted in every video I cover. Have you ever noticed where, like, whenever I'm covering a video, I'll start tracing random things in the shot with my mouse? Hypers, if you've noticed me doing that. Where, like, whenever I'm covering a video, I might start tracing something in the frame with my mouse. It's fucking ADHD. My eyes get drawn to that kind of thing, and it feels weird not to point it out, okay? Sorry, all right? I promise it's not some weird objectification shit. If you think it is, then let me know, okay? DM me on Twitter. Xander Hall, just to throw it out there, she hasn't gotten bottom surgery. Why is that relevant? I mean, I know she hasn't gotten bottom surgery. People have told me this, but, like, it's not relevant to any of this, I don't think. I don't think Blaire White's even said, like, I don't think she would consider herself a woman. The point of this video, and I think this is what we really need to hammer home, is Blaire White's true scum transphobia has reached such a fever pitch that she doesn't view herself as a woman. And I think that's the sad part of this video. That's the main highlight of this video that we need to talk about. The point where being like so much of a pick-me, where it gets to the point where you don't view yourself as valid. And that makes me really sad. I can't be mad at Blaire. It just makes me really sad. Like, I feel bad for her. It's like depressing to me, but what can I say? It's unfortunate. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you're new and you want to see more from me, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell icon, turn on notifications so YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload a video, because I promise you, if you don't, YouTube's not going to tell you. They never will. Algorithm does not like my channel right now. You can also sub or donate to me through my website, hit the join button to become a member, or super chat on YouTube. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram through links in the description, as well as joining my fan Discord. Please do join the fan Discord. It's a fantastic community. I really love it there. We do watch parties of different shows and movies all the time in the VC, so if you want to do that with me, definitely join the fan Discord. And on top of that, you can sub to me on Patreon. It's always appreciated. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.